Once SWAN is opened, you have the main menu here, and I have opened a document which I'm going to analyze. So we're going to do a quick start. We're simply going to analyze the title, and later on we'll add the abstract. So let's start with the title. Click on Quick Start. And automatically here at the beginning, the title tab is highlighted. Later on, you will be able to enter information on the abstract, the introduction, the conclusion, or even the visuals. But let's stay with the title. So we have the title on the side here. What we're going to do is simply copy. And we just have to click paste on that button here, and the title will appear in the window. At the same time, you will notice that SWAN identifies all of the words in the title, which you can, if you want, group or leave as they are. So let's have a look here. Notice that the little words, by the way, like on, via, have disappeared, and is disappeared. So we only have the main words from the title. So first of all, I want to associate words that should be together before I do anything else, like the keyword transfer printing. Transfer and printing, that don't make sense in this paper without associating them together. So you would click on transfer, then click on the shift key on your keyboard, and pretty much click on printing while the shift key is depressed, and you ask to join these two keywords. So now we have one keyword, which is transfer printing. Should you ever want to dissociate these keywords, you would then click on split. What else do we have here? We have a non-planar polymer, we have polymer sheet. Okay, so polymer and sheet as one keyword. Micro nano patterning is okay. Gold is okay. So pretty much I'm happy with my list of keywords. Then later on, I have to indicate what are the keywords in this paper which are representative of the contribution of the paper. So because I know, and I've read this paper, I know that what actually is the contribution of the paper is the fact that they do both concurrent nano imprinting and transfer printing. This is really the key advantage. And the result of that is going to be selective nano patterning, but they do concurrent nano printing. And so this is if you want a new method, and this is really what represents the contribution. And on what are they going to do that? Well, they're going to do that on a polymer sheet, and particularly here a non-planar polymer sheet. Okay, so these are the contributive keywords. Next, we look at the search category, if there are any. By default, they're stated as none, but you will see if I actually go under, for example, polymer sheet here, you will see that it could be a generic keyword, could be an intermediary keyword, it could be an expert search keyword. Okay, so of course that will depend on the journal that you intend to send your paper to. So let's say that for this particular journal, polymer sheet will be a generic keyword. Maybe the methods here, nano imprinting and transfer printing, will be intermediary keyword. Concurrent is not a search keyword. Non-planar probably maybe or may not be a keyword, so I'll leave it at none. Patterning definitely, let's say an intermediary search keyword. And the others may or may not be keywords, so I'll leave them as is. All right, so we have a or maybe non-planar would be an expert search keyword. Okay, so let's say that we have now completed the list of keywords. and those which needed to be joined together have been joined. And we've also given the level of search that they represent pretty much. Is it only experts who are going to type these when they search for a paper like that, or pretty much anybody could find with a generic search could find this in searches, for example. Okay, intermediary will be most likely for methods which are used in a number of different papers, so not unique to this particular paper. Once you have done this, we need to mark the sections of the title. So we have 4 possibilities here. The impact of the research is the impact clearly stated in the title. What is the main application of the research, the domain? Is that clear in the title? Is the methodology clear in the title? Or is the contribution clear in the title? In the sense that sometimes the result, or whatever it is the contribution clear in the title? So let's look at the title again, and what we'll do is highlight the contribution here. So what we have here actually, which is the contribution of the paper, is concurrent nanoimprinting and transfer. So this will be the concurrent, will be the contribution of the paper. Do we know what is the impact of concurrent nanoimprinting? I mean, is that clear? Well, the impact seems to indicate that it is selective patterning. Okay, so selective patterning seems to be the impact. What is the main application of the research? That would be patterning on polymer sheet. That would be the main application of the research. And the use methodology to determine the research of the research. Well, the methodology actually happens to be also the contribution. So I'm going to highlight this again and say methodology. Okay. It did change actually. What we should do in this case is say the contribution is concurrent and the methodology is nano imprinting and transfer printing. Here we go. And now we are ready actually to start the evaluation of the title. So again, to recap the process here, first of all, copy your title, paste it with the paste button in the SWAN window under the title tab. Then determine what are the keywords and should they be joined or not. Determine what are the keywords which are really representative of the contribution of this paper. And for these keywords here, determine whether they would be found in searches that people would do to find this kind of paper, or they would not. For example, selective, probably not, or concurrent, probably not. Adjectives are usually not always found in searches, but this is up to you, and this will also depend, level here will depend on the type of journal you're submitting your paper to. And then finally, we answer this question. Here it's perfect because all 4 of them, but sometimes not all 4 of them are highlighted. And so remember, you highlight in the title and then you click in the corresponding buttons here. And once you have clicked, this will highlight. Now, if ever you make a mistake, you can remove the mistake and change your mind. How? Well, you have to, for example, here, we said concurrent nanoimprinting transfer printing. Let's say it's the contribution of paper. If I change my mind and say, well, that's not the contribution of paper, I have to highlight it again. And notice that when you highlight it again, this activates here, which means that when you then click on it, it deselects it, okay? And so I'm going to redo it, concurrent nanoimprinting transfer printing, and select it again. Okay, so you can still correct, but you have to highlight exactly the keywords that were used to represent this. Unfortunately, these keywords have got to be connected. You cannot have, for example, a methodology a little bit here and a little bit there and a little bit there. They have to be grouped in the title. Otherwise, you may not be able to click on these buttons. It will deselect the old one if you want. Okay? All right. Then you start the evaluation. And the evaluation is ready for you. The plus signs indicate, well, this is good. But sometimes they say, well, I'm not sure. Is your title a little bit long, or is your contribution doesn't seem like it should be, because in a scientific paper, normally the contribution is placed up front, and here you've placed it at the back. Or your title may be unclear. So if you want to know more, you say, well, there's "and" in this title, and if you actually look at it, yes, there is an "and." But in your case, the "and" is not ambiguous, but it's worth looking at it. And so that's why it's a question mark here. And so check to see whether your "and" is ambiguous or not ambiguous. Okay, so you can hide it later on. And here, the attractive words, which are usually non-search keywords, are in green. The word reflecting your contribution are underlined. And the word used for the intermediate search in blue and expert search in purple. So you can at a glance see your title analyzed and what are the results for this title. With 5 search keyword, title relatively easy to find. Its keyword are widespread, thus attracting people. So a lot of good things to say about this title. So let's now move to the abstract.